Hello and welcome to my quick guide to setting up the GWR Class 802 that comes with the Riviera line on Train Sim World 6. Just to give you a quick look around the cab and how to set it up to maybe get the best out the train. Right, so let's just jump in the train and shut the doors, get rid of all that noise. So the first things first, this depends on whether you want to run with safety systems operational. I always suggest that you do because it makes life a little bit more realistic. So we'll set all these at the back here. So ETCS, which is the European Train Control System, it's not implemented on the GWR network, but you should probably have it on anyway. So set the door operation. That should be. I don't know why that isn't, but that basically opens the correct doors depending on whereabouts on the platform you are. Um, some platforms are shorter than a train, so just to make sure only the correct number of doors will open. AWS, which you're familiar with that one. TPWS is the full isolation that isolates both rather than just AWS, which this one would do. Vigilance, which is the reminder to the driver to press the pedal. The DSD, which is the pedal itself, the driver's safety device. And the APT, automatic train protection. On this part of the network and on this train, it's only partial supervision that's implemented. On other parts, it's full, which is a more sophisticated, if that's the right word to use for ATP. Over here, I've seen people go to operate this when you come in. You don't need to do this. When you set the train up, this is temporary isolation for TPWS. So what this does is, if you were under special working conditions where the signaller needed you to pass a number of signals that are at danger because there's been a signal failure or something, rather than press the button which is over here, if I can get so I can't see it, over on this panel here to isolate it temporarily so you don't trip the brakes out. If you do this one to isolate, it will isolate that for as many signals as you need to pass at danger. When you get to the end, you can just come back here and just put it back into normal mode by doing that. But as it stands, when you get into the cab, should be set up for normal. You don't need to touch it at all. So next things we need is jump in the chair, and then we'll set up the cab. So first things first, put the master key in, and we'll put the reverser into neutral. Right, we do need to make sure that you do put it into neutral. That's important. That is reset. That should actually be off by default when you come in the cab, but it's going over here. This is the train management system. There's a bit that shows the speed here, but that in real life actually just shows the current speed limit set. By default, that's 125, which is the maximum these trains are allowed to do, and the software sets so they won't go over that no matter how far you pull the power controller back. If you tap on this, then what you can do is set the maximum speed that you want the train to go. So if you're going in a section of line that's 100 miles an hour and you don't want to have to keep watching the speedometer, then you just tap on that, select 100 miles an hour, and the train won't go any faster than that. And on there, also on the real screen, there's a bit here which you can tap. It will actually show you the speed, the current speed that you're doing as well. There's lots of other functions in here, but they're not implemented on this, obviously. GSMR, everybody knows, is again, it's not implemented, which I don't really understand why not. GSMR, this bit's not used. This is actually the intercom to enable you to make PA announcements and also to contact other train crew, train managers and things like that in other parts of the train. So I've spawned this train in free roam mode. So at the moment, there's no engines running. It's not in electric mode. In fact, if we go outside, we should see the pantograph is not up, which they're not. So what we want to do is, obviously no electric here, so we want to start. Now there's two ways. You could actually go straight to diesel mode. The correct way of doing it, really, if you don't know what state the engine's in, is to go for the engine start. We should hear the noise of it starting, so let's go there. So it's the engine start. And what would happen on screen, you can watch the engine start up. Once they've all, you normally give it a few seconds, and once those engines are up and running, and assume they've reached the correct temperature as well, they have to be warmed up as well. Once in real life, but not on here. But once you're happy, give it a few seconds, and then press the diesel button, and then the noise gets a bit louder. But both of these should be illuminated. That means you've got diesel traction, the generators running, and you've got power to the traction motors. Okay, so down here, this is engine stop. You only need to do this if you're going to shut the train down completely, and that's an emergency stop, which is a quicker way of doing than that. Wiper controls, again, look, these are very similar to the LNER Azuma. Just here you've got electric, so if you've spawned in Paddington, for example, you want to go electric mode, then you just press that. That'll put the pantograph up and close the vacuum circuit breaker, so you'd see the line volt light up here. But obviously we're in Excellence Davies, there is no overhead lines here. So that's that done. So we would normally log into this, put your code in, and then the head code of the train itself. So you put your own code number in there, and then 1 Charlie 70, what it is, and when you put that code in, it will load up all the station stops and all the seat reservations as well. Obviously these are the door controls, these are the coupling. So forward preparation, what this does is it opens the nose cone. I don't know if it will do. Yep, there we go. Opens the nose cone. That's pretty good. You can't shut it now, by the way. The rear preparation does the one on the other end. Once that enables you to couple up. What happens here is it actually limits the speed to about 3 miles an hour for when you're doing the coupling. Once you've made the physical connection, you bang the two trains together, and you put it in reverse to make sure that it's not going to come apart. You then press the couple button, which will then make the electrical connections between the two trains, and then you've got a 10-car unit, or potentially an 18-car if you've got two 9 cars coupled up. To uncouple it, that's it just there. You have to hold that, put it in reverse, and then take power, and that will disconnect the two trains. Going over here, we've got the main screen. That's not used. Only if the ATP is isolated will that come on, which then shows a speedometer essentially. But this is ETCS and will be used on other systems that have that implemented. ATP is automatic train protection. This was brought in after the Ladbroke Grove disaster. If you can Google that, it'll tell you what that happened there. It was a pretty horrific day. These little dots here just mean it's in partial supervision. If you had another line of dots above it, so there'd be 6 in all, that'd be full supervision. It gives you lots of more control. The green lights on the outside is full supervision. The green lights would tell you your current speed limit for that part of the line, and there's some other lights, the orange ones, amber ones on the outside, or yellow ones, which are called the release speeds, which is a bit different, but a bit more complicated to explain on here. Up here we've got the TPWS panel, which is train stop override. So normally you press that if you're going past a red signal, press it for 1. But say if you want to do more than 1 red signal, then you use the isolation control on the back of the cab there, meaning you didn't have to remember to press that, because if you go past a red signal with this not pressed, then you're going to slam the brakes and you're going to get all sorts of warning lights and screaming and stuff. So just here we've got the line voltage that should be on when you're under electric. Vacuum circuit breaker, that shouldn't be lit unless you're going for a neutral section generally, or you're not in full electric mode. AEDs, automatic damage detection. That means the pantograph, if that flashes, you have to stop immediately because it means a damage to the overhead lines. Snow brake, it just applies it applies the brakes, the bogies, um, to stop the brakes freezing essentially. These monitors are for the door cameras, so looking outside, but obviously not implemented on this. The lights control, just I think people get confused about this. It's the reverse for cars. Then cars during the day you have full headlights, because you need people to be able to see you, not for you to see them. So in the daytime you have full headlights, so they're very bright. During the night, when you don't want to be dazzling people on the track or whatever, you put it to dimmed. You shouldn't really ever need to put the tail lights on here because it's all done automatically normal. The only thing you would use if you're going marker lights if you're going into a depot. These are all the HVAC controls. You need to worry about those two lights, reading lights, and the desk illumination, which is just turns the lamps up on these. These are not very bright anyway, and it's pretty much only that light that it changes. And fine, over here you've got the ATP data entry. What happens is when you start the train up and in full whatever supervision mode you have to enter a code in here and then answer some quick questions, and then ATP will be enabled, and that's that part of it. So that's how you set up the cab. To get moving, obviously it's very simple. We'll put the in forward. The power controller is just there are no notches on this. It's really just a smooth movement all the way. So if we move back, this is just a percentage. So and then we go into power mode and we should be able to start moving off. You might think of it a bit of power because it's diesel engines and they're not as fast as oh, actually, what I should have done, this goes to show you the worst. I'll put the brakes back in. Now, there we go. Let's take that off and try again. Schoolboy error. So there we go. Let's go. I can hear the engines going up now. And we're off. That DRA thing happens in real life too. And there you have it. You're on your way. I'll put the brake in now because it'll end see how good the brakes are on this. And there you have it, my quick guide to the class 800. We'll just put that on there and put it into neutral. That's a class 802 quick guide to setting up. Again, if you don't want to do the safety systems at the back, then you don't have to. Then all you need to do is put the key in, set the lights, remember to unset the DRA if you've not done that. But this is important to make sure that both of these are illuminated before you move off. Anyway, I hope it was helpful. If you've got any questions, feel free to. I'm on Discord as Mostly Harmless, on the Trains and World Community Discord page. I'll be happy to answer any questions. And thanks for watching. Bye bye now.